Well, these allegations and counter-allegations are expected to keep springing up. But how does this ADC coalition affect the PDP? And that remains a huge concern for many. TVC's Uzana Onoye joins me now on the news to unpack this subject. Uzana, from where you stand, are we close to singing the dirge for the PDP?
I would like to delay the answer to that question directly. Maybe before we end the conversation, we'll come to that point. But if anybody is wondering whether PDP will make it, but let's understand something clearly, that since the PDP lost the presidency in 2015, the once upon a time largest party in Africa has known no peace. They've moved from one crisis to another. But don't forget that PDP is the only party in Nigeria, apart from the APC, that is catching up, that has presence in every ward across the federation. Before the APC came, PDP dominated everywhere, and they have not lost that dominance, I mean, to a large extent. A lot of people are still members of PDP, either in body or in spirit. And now, the way the PDP handled its loss of election in 2015 showed that the party wasn't ready for that role of being the opposition political party. Some leaders desperately, underline the word desperately. This word desperately here means a lot. They desperately invited a former governor of Borno State, Ali Modu Sharif, to become the national chairman. He assumed office on February 16, 2016. Why is Ali Modu Sharif a wrong choice? I will talk about that very briefly, very quickly. Now, Ali Modu Sharif was removed from that same position just 3 months. He is the only man that occupied the national chairmanship of a political party, national political party at that, for just 3 months. He was removed, and his removal was affirmed by the Supreme Court on 26th of April 2018. So between 2016 and 2018, PDP was in court contesting over the national chairmanship position until that judgment was made. But while all of this was going on, the difference between the PDP then and now is that while all of this was going on, the organs of the party remained efficient. Now, I said I was going to say something about Ali Modu Sharif. He was the governor of Borno State. He contested on the platform of the AMPP in 2003, was re-elected in 2007. By the time he left office in 2011, he joined the conversation for the formation of the APC, which was founded in 2013. But as soon as he lost grip of what he wanted to get in the new political party, he jumped ship and went to the PDP, and that's the person that they took to become the national chairman of the party at that instance. Now, after that crisis, after that leadership crisis, PDP went into another phase of dilemma where the clash of over-bloated ambition of some of these members, I'll take you through that very quickly. In October 2018, ahead of the 2019 election, the then Governor Wike hosted PDP presidential primary. Don't think it was Father Christmas. I mean, it's for a purpose. Now, Governor Wike backed the then Governor Tambuwal, but Atiku Abubakar, who just came back from Dubai, remember that he contested the primary for the 2015 election, lost out, and left Nigeria to Dubai. He just came back just shortly before that primary. He double-crossed everybody and won. Wike felt disappointed. Now, note this. 12 aspirants contested in that primary, in that PDP primary, and all of them were from the north. Keep this on one side, and as we continue. Now, in 2022, ahead of the 2023 election, Atiku Abubakar, Tambuwal, Saraki, Bala Mohammed violated the party zoning arrangement. In PDP has, in its own constitution, the preamble section of the constitution, it said that positions within the party should be judiciously shared among the geopolitical zones in the country. Now, the national chairman of PDP at that time was a northerner. And then Atiku Abubakar came back again to contest for the presidency. Tambuwal, who was Wike's ally before then, betrayed him. Everybody will remember that scenario where Tambuwal came back after delivering his speech, now came back and stepped down for Atiku Abubakar. Wike felt wounded and shocked. Now, leaders of the PDP came together and proposed that Wike should be made the vice presidential candidate of the party as compensation. They agreed on this, and a few weeks after, Atiku Abubakar again reneged. From then, the tussle for the soul of the party assumed a different dimension. It became more intense, and then the heat continued. Now, coming to your question, Nifemi, are we close to singing the dirge for the PDP? I do not think so, because there is a certain man still hanging on and holding on to the PDP, and that is Nyesom Wike. Nyesom Wike is dreaming to be the president of Nigeria someday. I will explain this. Flying the Tambuwal kite in 2018 and then running for the presidency himself in 2022 support this assumption that he hopes to become the president. Now, Wike needs the PDP platform to actualize this ambition. He needs the platform because APC is a no-go area. And why is APC a no-go area for Wike? APC is a no-go area of one character, Godswill Akpabio, the current president of the Senate. The two men, Godswill Akpabio and Wike, are from the same geopolitical zone. And Godswill Akpabio had been a stronger and deeper and longer member of the APC. He had been a governor, like Wike. He had been a minister, like Wike. He had been a member of the Senate and currently the #3 man in Nigeria. So there's going to be some kind of clash. I'll come to the similarity between the two men shortly. But before I go there, who will lose in this crisis? Maybe not Atiku. Atiku currently is 78, thereabout. By the time the next election will be conducted, he will be around 79 or 80. At his age, there's not much to fight for anymore. This most likely will be his last attempt. And so if he loses out this time, he will go and rest. Obviously not Wike, because Wike is busy with the APC in the federal government. All he needs is to ensure that PDP remains in the areas where they are without losing them, because he will come back to use them later. Now, those who have stayed faithfully with the party, they are likely going to be the worst losers in this situation. I'd make one assumption, that except the issues are resolved, issues in PDP are resolved, which are likely going to be resolved very quickly from now, after the exit of the people that have left for the coalition. Except these issues are resolved, PDP may not be able to field any serious candidate in the 2027 election, except these issues are resolved. But I will end this conversation by comparing or looking at the two men that I talked about earlier, Nyesom Wike and Godswill Akpabio. Both of them are ambitious. Remember, Godswill Akpabio was an aspirant in the last primary of the APC for the presidency. He stepped down for the incumbent president. Both of them are ambitious, experienced politicians, knows how to use the courts. I don't want to explain that. I mean, I can't go into that deeply. But if you think about how Godswill Akpabio became a senator in the same year that he contested for the presidency, or he bought the form and contested in the primary for the presidency, same year, he came back to become the Senate, to become a senator, rather. If you look into that, you will know that both men understand this very well, which is also a tool in politics. And then they have deep pockets. When all of these civil areas are sorted, there is one similarity. Both of them are foul-mouthed. They can say anything to anybody at any time. And so the battle is going to be tight if Wike, by any reason, loses the grip of the PDP and Godswill Akpabio is still in the APC. That is if we get to that point, that the presidency will come back to the South after the presidency of President Bola Tinubu. That's it.
Interesting days ahead, and I like the way you put it together. I remember speaking with Chief Bodejod last week, who is quite optimistic that PDP isn't dead yet and that it's putting its house together. We'll see what happens in the coming days as we count down to 2027. Who's on our honor there?